pumped to be with you today, and I'm super excited for today's topic because it is something that I know so many entrepreneurs, so many coaches struggle with, something I have struggled with in the past, and I'm psyched to share with you some new ways to help you begin to move forward in your business and in your career and really start to change the story about all the investment you've made in your business and your growth. So if you are here, say hello. Of course, I'd love to hear from you. If you have questions as we progress, let me know. And if you watch this on the replay, I would love to hear your thoughts. All right, so if you are an online business owner, online coach, and you have invested in your growth, worked with other coaches, enrolled in other programs, but you're still just not quite where you want to be, and you're in that place of this energy of contrast, of dissonance. So you know you want to grow your business. You know you want your business to be consistent and to give you energy and to be operating your business in a way that brings you joy and that comes naturally. And all the strategies that you've learned from all the coaches and all the programs who promised this was the thing that would do it for you haven't worked for you. And so you're in this place where you're grappling with a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-criticism, because there's this story that you're carrying. And I had this story for a long time too about there must be something wrong with you because you've worked with all these coaches, you've invested in all these programs, and yet you're still not where you want to be. That is a story that just keeps you stuck, because what happens is, and this is what happened to me too, is you begin to doubt yourself even more. You begin to distrust that you're able to make good decisions. You start to even feel bad about the coaching industry and start to have like a bad taste in your mouth about all the different programs and coaches you worked with. And at the same time, your business isn't where you want it to be. So what do you do? Because honestly, if you knew how to do it on your own, you would already be there and you wouldn't even be listening to this live stream. And you wouldn't even be in this place where you are wrestling with this. It's a mind war where your mind tells you something's wrong with you because you've invested and you haven't seen the type of growth that you desired. Yet on your own, you're also not getting where you want to be. So you're in this sort of no man's land or kind of purgatory where you're kind of just doing circles. Like you're not growing, but you're afraid to invest because you've been burned before, yet you know you need support, yet you have a belief that you need to have the money in order to invest because you've invested before and now you're carrying around a lot of debt. And so you're just stuck. You're not progressing, you're feeling bad about yourself, yet you think what you're doing is smart. You think it's smart to wait until you have the money to invest. Well, I'm going to share some ideas about that because I had that belief for a long time too. It's like saying you're never going to date again because you've been burned, and that you're not going to date again until you know for sure it's going to work out. So any of you who have been in relationships or in relationships know, of course, there's no guarantee. And of course, you're going to get burned by some relationships. And of course, you're going to sometimes be in a place where maybe you need to take a break from relationships and do some healing, but eventually you're going to date again. And even when you find the person who you think is the person that you might spend the rest of your life with, you don't know it's going to work. You have no guarantee. But there's no way for you to see into the future before you make the decision to be with this person. And that's the same philosophy that we need to apply to our coaching, because it is a relationship and we can't see into the future, but we have to get to a place where we trust ourselves enough to know we will support ourselves. We will be able to handle no matter what happens. For example, in the relationship, if it falls apart, we'll be able to handle it. In the coaching, if it doesn't work out, we'll be able to handle it. In the whole time, both of these relationships, you're on a path of finding the right relationship for you. And all of the bad relationships when it comes to dating were for you to grow you and to heal you, so that when you met the person who was right for you, you would be able to receive that and be in a healthy place and in a whole place so that that relationship could flourish. And the same is true with coaching. All the mentors, all the programs, who you've worked with, who haven't helped you, who left you feeling burned, all of them were guiding you to heal certain things, beliefs around what they could do for you, beliefs around what you weren't able, or beliefs that you thought you weren't able to do for yourself, to get to the point where you come to a coaching relationship and you know it's 50-50, 100 or 100-100, that you're coming in 100%, the coach is coming in 100%, but it's not, the coach is 90% and you're 10%. And the same, of course, with a dating relationship. But the thing is, we have to heal all of our past relationships with previous coaches who we feel we've been burned by, so that we can release them. And really what it is, it's releasing your judgment on yourself. There's a lot of judgment around having invested in yourself and your business and not seeing the return on the investment. And that judgment keeps you in a place of shame and keeps you in a place of thinking you need to hide, you need to protect yourself, you can't trust yourself to invest again, when really all it is a path of guiding you to the right mentor for you at the right time, once you've done enough work on yourself and been through enough not so great relationships to be ready for really the right relationship for you. And when it comes to money, the other thing to think about, it's the same as investing in a relationship with a partner. It's, again, you invest before you know if it's going to work. But the one thing I find interesting, and I used to have this belief too around investing in my business growth, was that it was shameful to seek out ways to pay for it. But if you think about, if you have kids, or maybe you have pets, if you don't have kids, if your kid or your pet were to get injured or to get ill and you didn't have the money, there would be no shame, and you wouldn't even think twice about asking people for help if you didn't have the money. You would see if you could get a loan. You would try to open up a new credit card. You would ask family. You would ask friends. You might even put out a thing on Facebook. You would have no shame, because of course you would want to support your kid or your pet or whatever it is. But when it comes to ourselves and our own growth and our business and in our dream, we have shame around doing something uncomfortable in order to support ourselves. So we would never think, oh, it's, I should just ask my family or friends if they would support me. Or maybe I could, figure out a way to get a loan. We automatically think, if I don't have the money, I'm not going to do it. Because basically what we're saying is we're not worth it. Because we're afraid that we'll repeat the cycle of not getting the result, and that will mean something bad about us. And ultimately what it means is we're afraid we will fail. And if we fail, we will not be worthy of love. And so once we see that for what it is, then we can release that power and remind ourselves of what is true, is that we are worthy of love no matter what happens, no matter what. And that's the same thing that you believe about your children or about your pet. And that's why you're willing to do whatever it takes to support them. So when you can bring that energy to doing whatever it takes to support you and your dream, then you're no longer afraid to fail. And then all the judgment and shame disappears. And then you're ready to invest, because of course you're going to do what it takes. And of course you're going to do the uncomfortable things. And of course you're going to find ways to create money. You don't know where it's going to come from, but you're going to invest, because you're not going to spend years, months, decades trying to figure it out on your own. Because if you could figure it out on your own, you would have by now. Are there any questions? I'm super passionate about this because this was a belief that I had for a long time. It kept me stuck for a long time. And it was so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary. You are worth your dreams. You are worth investing in your dreams. And you are worth love no matter what happens, of course. But we have a lot of misguided beliefs that tell us we're not worth it. And we can't trust ourselves. And all the shame and story and criticism around where we need to be, where we should be, and why we're not there. And once we release that and see, we will be able to handle no matter what happens. We will be able to handle it. And we're willing to do whatever it takes to make our lives and our careers and our businesses what we desire them to be, because of course we're worth it. All right, I don't see any questions. So if you are in that place where your business is not where you want it to be, and you're just tired of trying to figure it out and doing all the things and applying all the strategies and working all the time and not really seeing that it's giving you what you desire it to give you, which is growth and consistent sales calls and consistent sales, reach out to me, because when I fixed this, when I shifted this, everything changed in my business. And it really was that process of what I'm talking to you about. about finally trusting myself again, being willing to invest even when I didn't have money to get the right mentor, to get the right training so that I could develop a system that worked for me, that allowed me to work in ways that were empowering. And I was engaging with my clients in ways that were empowering and attracting clients in ways that were empowering. When I developed this DM strategy, it all shifted. Every person I reached out to was a yes. And that had never happened before. And it was so much more easeful and so much less complicated. And it felt completely of highest integrity, none of the manipulation and fear garbage that a lot of times marketers talk about. It was all from a place of heightened consciousness, which is what I'm about anyway. So if you would like to learn this, I would love to show you how you can really turn your business around, get consistent sales calls, and really begin to grow in a way that is a true reflection of you, that is full of ease and joy, and really engaging with your clients and prospects from a place of love and empowerment. Cool? All right. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, I'll leave you this with one thought. You have the choice at any time of what you're going to buy. Are you going to buy into staying stuck? Are you going to buy into doing whatever it takes to make it happen? Are you going to buy into the idea that you're limited? Are you going to buy into the truth that you are unlimited, that you have infinite creativity and infinite resources, that you're infinitely resourceful, that you'll figure it out for you, the right mentor for you, the right training for you, the right investment for you? So you're either buying reasons why you can't change and excuses why you can't afford to invest and support yourself and your growth in your business, or you can buy into you will find the resources because you are infinitely resourceful, and there is a perfect solution for you, and you will do whatever it takes to create it. All right? All right. So you're always buying something. It's just to ask yourself, what do you want to buy? Staying stuck or growing and really creating a life and business you love? Okay, talk to you all soon. Thanks for being here.